Have you ever found yourself constantly drained by a relationship? Whether it's a toxic friend, an overbearing family member, or a partner who constantly crosses the line, it might be time to cut them out of your life completely. I know that sounds extreme, but think about it. Why do we let people who treat us badly stay in our lives? Because of guilt, fear, obligation. Today we're diving deep into Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, to explore 12 powerful signs that it's time to make the hardest but most important choice, cutting all contact with someone who doesn't deserve a place in your life anymore. In today's world, people are constantly talking about self-care, mental health, and boundaries, but few are really prepared to take the ultimate step, walking away from relationships that do nothing but harm. It's hard, I get it. The pressure to maintain connections, whether it's a longtime friend, a family member, or even a romantic partner, keeps us locked into toxic dynamics. But Stoicism, one of the most practical and timeless philosophies ever created, gives us the courage to choose peace, to choose freedom. The Stoics believed that protecting your inner tranquility is the highest form of self-respect. And that means you owe it to yourself to cut off anyone who threatens that peace. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Sometimes it's not about fixing a relationship, it's about saving yourself from drowning. Today I'm going to give you 12 hard-hitting signs that it's time to walk away and never look back. No more excuses, no more second chances, just freedom. Now let's get started. Number 1. Persistent disrespect. If someone constantly disrespects you and belittle your dreams, mock your opinions, or straight up ignore your boundaries, then guess what? It's time to let them go. Disrespect doesn't come from a one-off argument. It comes from a repeated pattern of behavior that undermines your self-worth. Each act of disrespect, even if seemingly small, is a red flag that shouldn't be ignored. Disrespect can show up in many subtle ways. It can be as simple as someone talking over you during conversations, never valuing your input, or cutting you off every time you try to express yourself. It could be more overt, like outright mocking your goals or ridiculing your beliefs, making you feel small and insignificant. These actions slowly chip away at your confidence, making you doubt yourself. When disrespect becomes a pattern, it's not just annoying, it's harmful to your sense of identity and well-being. Now, think about that person who always talks down to you, belittling your accomplishments or questioning your choices. Maybe they do it subtly, like making jokes about your career or appearance that make you feel insecure. Or maybe it's more blatant, where they openly disregard your feelings or dismiss your needs. Every time someone disrespects you and you let it slide, you're silently telling them that their behavior is acceptable. Here's the truth. You teach people how to treat you. When you tolerate persistent disrespect, you're sending a message that it's okay for them to cross your boundaries, and that's exactly what they'll keep doing. The Stoics taught that dignity is something you must guard fiercely. Your self-respect is non-negotiable. When someone continuously disrespects you, regardless of their excuse or explanation, it's time to protect your peace by walking away. Walking away isn't about being weak. It's about valuing yourself enough to remove people from your life who don't respect you. You deserve better, and you don't have to justify that to anyone. Number 2. Mental health decline. Your mental health is your greatest asset. Without it, you can't be the best version of yourself, and you certainly can't grow into the person you want to be. Yet so many of us stay in relationships that actively harm our mental well-being because we're afraid to be alone or cause conflict. This fear keeps us locked in a cycle of anxiety, doubt, and emotional exhaustion, making it hard to see the damage these relationships are truly causing. Ask yourself, how do you feel after interacting with this person? Do you feel drained, stressed, anxious? If yes, then that's your body and mind telling you it's time to make a change. Stoic philosophers were clear on this. Protect your peace at all costs, because without peace, you can't focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Mental health decline doesn't always come from major incidents. It's often the small, consistent ways someone erodes your sense of self-worth. Maybe it's the friend who's always subtly making you feel like you're not good enough, or the partner who chips away at your confidence by criticizing every little thing you do. Over time, those tiny insults add up, and before you know it, you're questioning your own value, wondering if you're the problem. In today's world, mental health issues like anxiety and depression are rampant, and the relationships we keep can either help us heal or push us further into stress. If your relationship is a source of these issues, it's not just toxic, it's harmful. A partner, friend, or family member should lift you up, not weigh you down. If you feel constantly on edge around someone, if being in their presence feels like you're walking on eggshells, then listen to your intuition and take action. Your peace of mind is non-negotiable, and anyone who jeopardizes it doesn't deserve a place in your life. Number 3. Misaligned core values. What happens when you and someone close to you don't share the same values? Over time, it creates friction, resentment, and conflict. At first, it might seem like those differences are small, easy to overlook. But over time, they start to chip away at the relationship. These little misalignments eventually erode the trust, respect, and connection you once had. It's like a tiny crack in a foundation that grows into a full-blown collapse. For example, imagine you deeply value honesty and loyalty. You live by these principles, and they guide your decisions and actions, but your partner, friend, or even family member seems to think bending the truth or omitting details is acceptable. At first, you might brush off their white lies or half-truths, but over time, these minor differences start to weigh on you. They gnaw at your sense of integrity. You begin to ask yourself, can I really trust this person? And more importantly, is this a person I want to invest my energy in? Misaligned values are a silent relationship killer. On the surface, things might appear to be okay. You get along, you have fun, but underneath, there's a disconnect. You're striving for growth, self-improvement, and living with integrity, but they're content with cutting corners, staying stagnant, or even encouraging behaviors that conflict with your core beliefs. That gap between you doesn't just remain, it grows wider. The Stoics would remind us that living according to our core values is non-negotiable. Our values are the compass by which we navigate life. Without them, we lose our way. You can't grow into your highest self if the people closest to you are constantly undermining what you stand for. That's why it's so crucial to take a deep, hard look at the values you hold dear. If someone in your life consistently acts against those values, it might be time to accept that the relationship has run its course. You don't have to compromise who you are for anyone, and sometimes the best way to stay true to yourself is to walk away. Number 4. Energy vampires. Have you ever spent time with someone and left feeling utterly exhausted? We all know at least one person who drains our energy, whether it's through their constant negativity, need for attention, or drama. These people are energy vampires, and being around them leaves you depleted, with nothing left for yourself. Energy vampires don't have to be obvious. Sometimes they're disguised as needy friends or loved ones who constantly ask for your emotional labor. They unload their problems on you, never showing interest in how you're doing, and you end up feeling emotionally drained. They may seem innocent at first, but over time, these interactions begin to take a serious toll on your well-being. Maybe it's a friend who always wants to vent, complain, or dump their problems on you, or a family member who brings chaos into every interaction. Their conversations are filled with nothing but complaints or negative energy, leaving you carrying the emotional burden for the rest of the day. They might be that person who demands your attention at the worst possible moments, or insists on talking about their drama when you clearly have your own issues to deal with. It becomes a one-sided relationship where you're the emotional dumpster and they take everything without giving anything back. The Stoics believed that we should spend our energy wisely, focusing only on what contributes to our growth and well-being. If someone is constantly draining your energy, they're doing the opposite of that. Your energy is finite. Every minute you spend dealing with someone else's drama is a minute you're not investing in yourself, your own growth, or your goals. Think of it this way. Your energy is like a battery. If you spend all your time giving it away to people who don't recharge you, you're going to burn out quickly. If someone is sucking the life out of you and giving nothing in return, it's time to protect your energy. Remember, you don't owe anyone your emotional labor. You have the right to set boundaries, and if the relationship is leaving you feeling drained or overwhelmed every time you interact, it's a clear sign that it's time to cut ties or distance yourself. Number 5, manipulation and deceit. We live in an age where manipulation is often disguised as concern or care. Whether it's subtle guilt-tripping, emotional blackmail, or outright deceit, these tactics are incredibly damaging to your mental and emotional well-being. Manipulation comes in many forms, and sometimes it's hard to spot because it's wrapped in kindness or the illusion of protection. But make no mistake, if someone is manipulating you, even under the guise of care, it's a toxic relationship. If someone is constantly trying to control or manipulate you, making you feel like you're always in the wrong, or gaslighting you into doubting your own reality, it's time to cut them out. Manipulation can leave you feeling confused, questioning your own perception of events. The Stoics were all about clarity and seeing things for what they really are, and manipulation is the exact opposite of clarity. In a manipulative relationship, the other person tries to distort your reality to benefit themselves, eroding your sense of confidence and self-trust. Manipulation isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's the friend who says, "If you were a real friend, you'd do this for me." Or the partner who makes you feel guilty for having boundaries. These tactics erode your sense of self, making you feel responsible for their happiness or well-being. In fact, a manipulative person will often make you feel like you're to blame for their problems or dissatisfaction with life. They may twist situations so that you end up apologizing even when you've done nothing wrong. This kind of behavior is toxic because it undermines your ability to think clearly and act in your own best interests. Over time, manipulation can make you doubt your instincts and judgment, leaving you dependent on the manipulator for validation or direction. They may even try to isolate you from others who can offer a clearer perspective, ensuring that you remain in their grip. In today's relationships, manipulation can be hard to spot. It often comes from people we trust the most. But once you see it for what it is, you can't ignore it. The Stoics taught that personal freedom comes from knowing the truth and being able to act in alignment with it. You can't be truly free when someone else is pulling the strings behind the scenes. Don't waste your time on people who play mind games. Your peace of mind is worth more than their attempts to control you. The path to emotional freedom begins with recognizing manipulation for what it is and having the courage to walk away. Number 6, inconsistent behavior. 1 minute they're there for you, and the next they're ghosting you. Inconsistent behavior is one of the most confusing and emotionally draining dynamics you can experience. One day, they're showering you with love and attention, and the next, they disappear or act like you don't exist. Inconsistent behavior can manifest in many ways. Sometimes it's a friend who's all in when things are going well, but as soon as you need support, they vanish. Other times, it's a partner who's affectionate one day and distant the next, leaving you constantly questioning where you stand. This emotional back and forth is more than just frustrating. It chips away at your sense of stability and security in the relationship. And the worst part? It often leads to you doubting yourself, wondering if you did something wrong to cause their withdrawal. This roller coaster isn't just frustrating, it's damaging. When someone behaves unpredictably, it creates a constant state of anxiety and uncertainty, leaving you feeling like you're walking on eggshells, never knowing what to expect. The Stoics valued consistency above all else, believing that steady, rational behavior is the key to a peaceful life. They taught that emotions should be guided by reason, and that we should strive for balance and control in our reactions and interactions. So, if someone's inconsistency is constantly keeping you on edge, making you question where you stand in their life, it's time to cut ties. Inconsistent behavior makes it impossible to build trust. And without trust, there's no solid foundation for any relationship. You're left feeling anxious, constantly second-guessing whether they're really there for you or just using you when it's convenient. The unpredictable nature of their actions causes emotional whiplash. One moment, you feel secure in the relationship, and the next, you're filled with doubt and insecurity. This lack of reliability breeds resentment over time as you start to realize that you can't depend on them, and their presence in your life becomes more of a source of stress than support. You deserve people in your life who are reliable, who show up, and who don't leave you guessing. Relationships, whether romantic, friendly, or familial, should be built on a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and dependability. If someone's actions constantly leave you feeling insecure and uncertain, they don't belong in your life. Don't allow someone's inconsistency to drain your emotional energy. Cut ties and make room for relationships that bring peace, clarity, and stability. Number 7, lack of support. Relationships should lift you up, not drag you down. If you're surrounded by people who don't support your growth, dreams, or well-being, it's time to seriously reconsider those relationships. Support isn't just about being there when things are going smoothly or when life is good. It's about showing up during the difficult times, when challenges are overwhelming, and when you need someone to believe in you the most. True support goes beyond the superficial. It's about being a consistent presence, helping you stay grounded and motivated, even when everything feels like it's falling apart. When someone only appears when they need something from you but vanishes when you're in need of help or encouragement, that's not real support. That's opportunism. A supportive friend or partner is someone who genuinely cares about your well-being, not just when it's convenient for them. They should celebrate your victories, but more importantly, they should stand by your side when you're struggling, reminding you of your strength and potential. Think about it. Are your friends, family, or partner truly rooting for you? Or are they dismissive, uninterested, or even secretly hoping that you'll fail? It's impossible to grow and thrive in an environment where you're constantly being torn down, whether overtly or subtly. The Stoics believed in cultivating relationships that contribute to your personal development and help you become the best version of yourself, not relationships that stifle your potential. If someone in your life isn't genuinely supporting you, or even worse, if they're undermining your success or happiness, it's time to take a step back and evaluate whether that relationship is worth holding on to. Surround yourself with people who believe in your potential and who celebrate your victories, not with those who hope you'll stumble. Choose relationships that fuel your growth and inspire you to reach new heights, because those are the people who truly belong in your life. Number 8, constant criticism. Criticism can be constructive, but when it's constant and unrelenting, it becomes toxic. If you're in a relationship where you're always being criticized, your choices, your lifestyle, your appearance, it's time to reconsider that connection. Constructive criticism is meant to help you improve and grow. It comes from a place of genuine care with the intention of making you better. However, when the criticism is persistent, it crosses a line. Instead of being helpful, it starts to feel like a personal attack, wearing down your self-esteem bit by bit. Constructive feedback comes from a place of care and helps you grow. But constant criticism, especially when it's about things that don't need to change, is about control. The Stoics would tell you to listen to criticism only if it helps you become better. Otherwise, let it go, and that includes letting go of people who only see the negative. The problem with constant criticism is that it shifts your focus from your strengths to your flaws. You start to believe that nothing you do is good enough, that no matter how hard you try, you will always fall short in their eyes. This type of criticism goes beyond the surface. It makes you second-guess yourself in every decision, undermining your confidence and sense of self-worth. Imagine being in a relationship where no matter how much effort you put in, you're always met with disapproval. Over time, this will take a toll on your mental health, making you feel inadequate and defeated. Constant criticism erodes your self-esteem. It makes you feel like you're never good enough, no matter what you do. If someone is always pointing out your flaws and never acknowledging your strengths, they're not helping you, they're hurting you. It's important to recognize that healthy relationships involve a balance of constructive feedback and praise. If all you're hearing are complaints and critiques, it's a clear sign that the relationship is toxic. Criticism should serve as a tool for growth, not a weapon for control. If someone in your life is constantly pointing out your flaws and never acknowledges your strengths, it's time to question why you're keeping them around. You deserve to be with people who uplift you, not tear you down. At some point, you have to ask yourself, is this criticism making me a better person, or is it breaking me down? If it's the latter, it's time to walk away. Number 9. Overstepping boundaries. Boundaries are essential for healthy relationships. If someone consistently oversteps your boundaries, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, it's a clear sign that they don't respect you. Boundaries aren't just about saying no to things you don't want to do. They're about protecting your time, energy, and well-being. When someone oversteps your boundaries, they're sending a clear message. Your needs don't matter as much as theirs, and this isn't something you can ignore or brush off. Over time, this constant disregard for your limits chips away at your self-esteem, leaving you feeling powerless and unheard. Maybe they repeatedly push you to do things you're not comfortable with, or they demand more of your time than you're willing to give. It could be a friend who doesn't respect your need for space, or a partner who insists on having their way in every situation. Boundaries are more than just personal preferences. They are the lines that define what you will and won't tolerate. They are about self-respect, and when someone crosses those lines, they are challenging that self-respect. If someone makes you feel guilty or selfish for setting boundaries, that's an even bigger red flag. They might try to manipulate you into thinking that you're wrong for standing up for yourself, but in reality, you have every right to protect your well-being. Maybe it's a friend who shows up unannounced, a partner who pressures you into things you're uncomfortable with, or a family member who doesn't respect your personal space. Whatever the case, boundaries are non-negotiable. The Stoics believed that we have control over our own actions and reactions, but not others. So if someone isn't respecting your boundaries, it's your responsibility to enforce them, and sometimes that means walking away. In the end, protecting your boundaries means protecting your peace, and no relationship is worth sacrificing that. Number 10. Jealousy and competition. Jealousy and competition can destroy even the strongest relationships. If someone in your life is constantly trying to compete with you, always feeling the need to outdo you, or is jealous of your success, it's a toxic dynamic that will only get worse over time. Competition between friends or partners isn't about fun or mutual growth anymore. It's about undermining and one-upping each other. This can erode trust and create a constant state of tension. Maybe they downplay your achievements, make passive-aggressive comments, or always try to one-up you. The Stoics believed that each person has their own path in life, and comparing yourself to others is pointless. If someone is more focused on competing with you than supporting you, they're not a true friend. This need to win within the relationship reveals a deeper issue, resentment or insecurity that will poison the connection over time. Jealousy isn't just about envy, it's about insecurity. When someone is jealous of you, it's because they see something in you that they wish they had. But instead of working on themselves, they choose to tear you down. And that's not your problem. Their jealousy is their burden to carry, not yours, and no amount of success or failure on your part will change their behavior. You deserve people who celebrate your victories, not people who feel threatened by them. True friends and partners are secure enough to stand beside you in your success and offer genuine support. Let go of anyone who makes you feel like your success is a problem, because if someone is uncomfortable with your growth, they're not interested in helping you thrive. Number 11. Lack of trust. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship. Without trust, everything else crumbles. It's impossible to build anything meaningful. If someone has lied to you, cheated, or consistently failed to keep their word, it erodes the very core of the relationship. And without trust, you'll constantly find yourself questioning their motives, their loyalty, and even their basic honesty. Trust isn't something that should be given lightly. It's earned through consistent, reliable actions. When someone breaks your trust, even just once, it leaves a crack. If they break it repeatedly, those cracks widen until the whole relationship is unstable. Imagine trying to walk across a bridge with missing planks. You'd never feel secure. That's exactly what it feels like to be in a relationship without trust. The Stoics would remind you that trust is essential not just for your relationships, but for your peace of mind. They believed that once someone had proven themselves unworthy of trust, it was wise to distance yourself. After all, how can you find peace in constantly wondering if someone is being honest with you? The mental energy spent worrying about betrayal or deception is exhausting and unhealthy. Trust isn't just about believing someone's words, it's about having confidence in their intentions. If someone consistently breaks your trust, whether it's through lies, deceit, or erratic behavior, you'll always be on edge, waiting for the next disappointment. This kind of stress isn't just bad for your emotional health. It eats away at your sense of security and can make you doubt your own judgment. If trust is gone, the relationship is essentially over. You can't build or rebuild anything worthwhile on a broken foundation. Don't waste your precious energy trying to patch up something that's already crumbled beyond repair. Once someone shows you who they are, especially by violating your trust, believe them. The cost of staying in a relationship without trust is too high, and the only solution is to walk away before the damage spreads further. Number 12. Emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation is one of the most insidious forms of toxicity in relationships. It can be hard to spot because it often comes disguised as care, concern, or love. But make no mistake, if someone is manipulating your emotions to get what they want, it's time to cut them out. They may pretend to have your best interest at heart, but their goal is control, not care. Maybe they use guilt to control you, or they make you feel responsible for their happiness. The Stoics would remind you that you're only responsible for your own actions and emotions, not anyone else's. It's easy to get sucked into this trap, especially when the manipulation is subtle. But remember, your peace of mind is the top priority, and no one has the right to make you feel guilty for protecting it. Manipulation is about control. When someone manipulates your emotions, they're trying to control your behavior, your thoughts, and your feelings. They may use tactics like silent treatment, emotional outbursts, or even gaslighting to keep you off balance, making you doubt yourself and your reality. And that's not love, it's control. Genuine care and love will uplift and empower you, not leave you questioning your worth. The more you give in to emotional manipulation, the more control that person gains over your life. They want to make you feel like you need them, like their happiness is in your hands. But it's not. Manipulators thrive on making you believe that walking away would make you the bad guy. But that's the trick. They're using your empathy and kindness against you. If someone is using your emotions against you, it's time to walk away. The Stoics teach us to protect our own inner peace and not allow external forces, especially manipulative people, to dictate how we live our lives. Protect your peace, protect your heart, and don't let anyone use your feelings as a weapon against you. You are not responsible for their emotions, and anyone who makes you feel that way does not belong in your life. Cutting people out of your life is one of the hardest decisions you'll ever make. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, and it can feel like you're doing something wrong. But let me tell you something crucial. Staying in a toxic relationship is not an act of kindness or loyalty. It's an act of self-betrayal. Every moment you spend allowing someone to disrespect your boundaries, drain your energy, or manipulate your emotions, you are choosing their comfort over your peace. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This means you don't need to retaliate, fight, or explain yourself. Walking away is the most powerful move you can make. Walking away is not weakness, it's strength. The kind of strength most people are too afraid to embrace, because here's the truth. You deserve a life filled with people who uplift you, who bring out the best in you, and who respect your boundaries without question. Ask yourself, what are you holding on to that's holding you back? Is it fear? Is it guilt? Is it the hope that maybe someday this person will change? Stop waiting for someone to value you when you can start valuing yourself right now. Don't let fear of being alone keep you shackled to people who drain your spirit. Letting go isn't just about cutting someone out. It's about opening space for the right people to come into your life, for the peace you've been craving, and for the growth you've been holding back. Every day you delay this decision is another day you stay trapped in someone else's story. It's time to write your own. You've come this far because you know, deep down, that you deserve better. Now is the time to act. Take a hard look at the relationships in your life and ask yourself, who is building you up and who is tearing you down? If you've recognized any of these 12 signs in your life, don't wait. Start making changes today. The moment you decide to cut out the toxic people is the moment you take back control of your life. Don't waste another minute sacrificing your peace for someone who doesn't deserve it. Your life is precious, your energy is priceless, and your happiness is non-negotiable. Share your story in the comments. Who are you ready to let go of, and why? Let's support each other in making these hard but necessary choices. Subscribe for more powerful insights to help you grow, and together, let's create a community where we all choose our peace and growth over toxicity. Thanks for watching.